Let's analyze the stock market trading session for today, Thursday, the last day of March 2022. This is a daily chart of the S&P 500. We had a big sell-off today, down 72 points. Last hour was a drop of 60 points. It was a very aggressive sell-off. At the end of the day, closing near the lows of the day. It is currently sitting on the 10-day moving average and just below the 100-day moving average. We've talked about this level before. This should act as a support. Tomorrow we'll see if we open higher, if they can actually act as a very strong support. Got the 10-day moving average, these two pivot points, and the 100-day moving average. If we go lower tomorrow, I expect the 200-day moving average, the green line, and these pivot points to be strong support. And if we drop below that, I don't see much strong support until probably these moving averages down here around 4,400. I doubt we're gonna get down here tomorrow, but you never know. On the way up, of course, expect some resistance around this area, which was resistance here, support here, failed today. So on the way up, expect some of the same thing. I don't see a setup to go long. I don't really see a setup to short. The only scenario for tomorrow, I'll say if we open higher and then we dip below this level again, today's low, below the 10-day moving average, could short. But at the same time, I don't think it would be a good idea because we have very strong support just below that. Look how far it is from here to here. So I don't really think that would be a very good idea. Could work, of course, but expect small profits if it works. Here's a 5-minute chart, and this is a sell-off at the end of the day. About 60 points from where? 44.90. Remember that level we've been watching for many days? That 45.90 spent most of the day around that area, which is actually the level where I liquidated my position yesterday, just a few points below that line. And today, again, it proved to be a very important pivot point. Now for the Nasdaq 100, big sell-off also, same as the S&P 500, finished near the low um, of the day, below the 5-day moving average. You have the 10 moving average below, so expect that to act as very strong support. This proved to be a very strong resistance area where the 100 and the 200-day moving average sort of converged. So when it go on the way up, that would be a very important level. Let me clear that again. So I'll say that, let's say I don't know, have a new trading range, say finds good support around that area. And then on the way up, I think that level could be very bullish once it pushes above that level or above the 100-day moving average. But it is so close to that level, I would wait until it makes a new high up here. And that could be a good setup to go long. Shorting, I don't know, probably if we spend, say, a couple more sessions here and then dip below, uh, say, this level, 14,800, and below the 10-day moving average, I would consider shorting at that point. But for now, I don't really see a setup, short or long. Now for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, big sell-off also, minus 550 points. But more importantly, it dipped below all these moving averages, the the 100, the 200, the 5, and the 10. And that important pivot point 35,000. So this one is not looking good unless it can quickly push back above this, say above the 100-day moving average or the 35,000 level. Otherwise, this one, I'll probably say this one can find some good support around the 50-day moving average and this pivot point. But this one looked look at the bar. Look at the magnitude of this bar. And it was able to dip below all these pivot points and moving averages. That is very bearish. But it is not too far away from that 10-day moving average, and it is still above the 50-day moving average, so don't get too bearish. Now for the semiconductor index, this one didn't have a good day, just like the rest of the indices. Now it dipped below, it is now below the 5-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, and the 10-day moving average. And this trading range, which had been acting as very support and support over here as resistance. So this zone between 34.50 and say 34.80 now is below that. But you have the 50-day moving average here, and then you have the 20 here. So it's between all these moving averages. I don't really see a good setup. Not a good idea to go short. It's not a good idea to go long. We'll see what happens in the next couple of sessions, maybe some type of price consolidation, and see if it wants to bounce back up or if it wants to continue going south. But for now, it's really nothing to do. And finally, the Russell 2000. This one is back below the 10-day moving average and below the 5-day moving average, but it's still above these moving averages of 50 and the 20. This has been very strong support. Expect that to be very strong support. This pivot point around 200 and 202.5, and here the 50-day moving average. So if it decides to go down, I would expect strong support around this area, these moving averages. On the way up, of course, is going to be again the 100-day moving average and this trading zone here, which has been very, very important for the last almost a year. It was here, 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 and this was July, and I think there was another pivot point around the same level around April. So this one has dropped significantly from the top. Now it's in the middle of these moving averages. So for now, wait for the next setup. I just don't see it now. I would like to see some type of price consolidation and see where it wants to go, north or south. For me, no setup, comma, no trade. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck trading tomorrow.